Hi, Facebook. It's Gerry coming to you from Rythmia Life Advancement Center. We're back in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. I'm back from a beautiful vacation, the best vacation I ever had in the wonderful Turks Islands. If you ever get a chance, please go to see that. It's something beyond compare. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Rythmia and what we do. Rythmia is a life advancement center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, where we use plant medicine, metaphysical teachings, yoga, meditation, breath work to bring about a particular change. That change is what we call soul merger. And the soul merger has a tremendous benefit in one's life going forward. How do we know that? We now have over 8,400 guests who have been here. And 95.12% of them, 951.2 out of 1,000, experienced this life-changing miracle. Better than that, about 92%, 92.71, I think, at 6 months say that this was the week that changed their life and that miracle is still working in their life. And that's why we have over 1,300 five-star reviews on TripAdvisor, and I believe we're the #1 customer-rated TripAdvisor resort in the world. So we're doing something right. We have a beautiful full house this week. I think there's 83 folks here that are all going through this experience and having this life-changing, life-altering miracle happen to them. If you can think about this, if we have over 80 in these times, holy God, what is November, December, January going to look? If you're going to come here, you book in now. Now, the title of this thing is called the Roaring 20's. This is my new thing. And why do we call it that? Because it's my belief, and the medicine told me, and the medicine's generally right, that the pent-up financial demands that have occurred over the last year, 13 months, 14 months, are going to be expressed in a wicked rebound, And that wicked rebound is going to be the accelerant to a huge economic expansion. Nothing is forever. Who knows how long? I don't know, but I believe that from a financial aspect, the Roaring 20's are coming again. I believe that. Now, in Rythmia life, there's your community life, there's your family life, there's your financial life. Today, I want to talk about your financial life. I want to talk about it because while I was on vacation, I had the chance to review some things about manifestation. And I have always been a very, very, very good manifester. I always have. I manifested this place. I manifested other businesses, a lifestyle, things like that are okay. So I've been good at it. And I was reading different things. My own new book is coming out called Truthonomics. And we hope that book will be launched sometime early 2022. And the book is already finished. We're just putting all the pieces together. And it's a very, very, very good book for manifesting. Now, what I want to talk about is capitalizing on the opportunities that are going to be coming. And so I'm not saying capitalizing on the opportunities at the expense of your spiritual life, at the expense of your family life, at the expense of your community life. Not at all. You see, the new way of thinking is that everything has to be in order in relation to each other. But you cannot forget the financial piece. You can't. Because like wheels of a tricycle, it's terribly important. The show doesn't move without it. It doesn't. So let's talk a little bit about it. I said I was reviewing things. One of the most interesting things I came across is in the law of attraction, how it says not to have a plan. And I have tremendous kickback on that. I have tremendous kickback on that because that is a super easy sell. That's easy to sell. I want a mansion on the hill, but I don't want to know how I'm going to get it. That's great. That's money for nothing and the chicks for free. That's fantastic. I want this relationship, but I don't want to have to be a better person. I just want to get there. I want this business, but I just want it to happen. I have no idea how I'm going to get it. This is not how things work. It's a great for selling books because people love that. That's it. Like Money for Nothing and the Chicks for Free was a song. I forget who the hell it was, but it was in the 80s. And the thing is that it sold a lot because the idea sells a lot. The fact is life, nature, the universe tend not to work that way. As a matter of fact, I say no map, no plan, no dice. I've witnessed this my whole life. So what does this mean? You have to have a plan. Part of the tariff the universe makes you pay is to have a plan. Having a plan is hard. It requires thought, requires all kinds of things. So the work is in the plan itself. Once you invest in the plan, you now have an investment. And if you're doing it from a merged place, so let's talk about it. If you're merged in a Rythmia type place is your plan, now you have to re-engineer it, reverse engineer it, so you can get through the steps to get it. And I'm going to get that in a minute. So the idea is this. The idea, and I like to call these things 5x5s, right? So when I take a look at something, I say, okay, I want to open a clothing store, let's say. And then I take a look at the 5 major things. Okay, I need financing, I need a location, I need a style and a brand, I need marketing, and I need administration. Now I have my 5 things. Now I go under them 5, each thing. And then under those 5, I put in dates with action items and this and that and this. And now I have a plan. And I got to tell you something. Not once in my life, not once, has my initial plan ever looked anything like the finished product. Ever. Because now we're going to talk about something called cybernetic takeaway, which are micro adjustments. So this is why this stuff is so hard, right? So we have our plan. We start out with our 5 things, and the hardest thing to do is to sit down and do the 5 things. That's the river. I want to be I want to have a band. Okay, I got to learn to sing. I got to hire musicians. I got to get places to work. That is the thing. And then under and under and under. And it's really, really, really hard because you're constantly throwing away the plan and adjusting it. So think of it like this. Think of it like, here's the map, and now I'm going to drive and see. Then I have to look down. Here's the map. Oh, I got to adjust over here and drive and see. Here's the map. I got to adjust here and drive and see. It's a pain in the ass. A pain in the ass. And it's hard. So all of this micro adjusting is crazy, but it's part of the thing. It's part of the thing. If you just sit there and try to vibrate, you can sit on the couch and try to vibrate like a watercress sandwich all you want, but it's not going to show up and get delivered to you. It's not the way that it works. So to reverse engineer that, I need bread, I need watercress, I need condiments, I need everything. Everything in life is math, sequences, all of those things. You can't get away from it. And I want to tell you, I feel super bad for the people that bought into that idea, because now it's 15 years later. It's 15 years later and they're still trying to vibrate like something and thinking they're doing something wrong. That's terrible. That's like saddling somebody with rocks and throwing them into the pool and yelling at them. They yell at themselves because they can't swim. They've been told the wrong thing. And I'm going to tell you what's interesting. You talk to anybody who's been successful in anything other than selling books, and even those people would, but almost anybody who's been successful, they will say the exact same thing that I'm saying to a fault, to the minutia, because it is true. It is absolutely, positively, undeniably true, and it is hard. It's hard. So we got to get into this for a second. Like, why is it so hard? It's hard because it's hard. It doesn't matter. It's just hard. Is it fulfilling? Absolutely, 100% fulfilling. Does it make you content? Absolutely, if it's done right from the right place. If it's done right from the right place. all of a sudden, all of the pieces fall together. All of them. Because you're managing. Now, you might have to change this one, change this one, change this one, change this one. But this is how companies, I'm going to tell you, I have two friends. They're both on the board of directors of this place. And one of them said the most interesting thing to me is his company was 30 years old when he sold it. And I think he sold it for a lot more than I've ever sold a company for. Less than $1 billion, though, I think. But anyway, I said, all I was trying to do was stay alive. Very interesting, right? So so he was constantly shucking and jiving, adjusting, changing, modifying, getting in. That is it. Now, here's what's the interesting part. If he did not love that business, he would have quit. All of us that are in this thing, I'm going to tell you in the beginning of this thing, right, where we opened it and nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. Nobody. And I was burning about $400,000 a month. Holy God, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit. But I did it from a merged place. The idea was a completely soul merged idea. And that's what kept me going. Had it been from a place of wanting to impress my neighbors, had it been from a place of doing it to buy a new car, had it been from that, I would have abandoned it. So the steps, if you're gonna re-engineer the whole thing, is get merged. Pick the place, pick the thing you want from your heart. That's step 2. Then reverse engineer it all the way back to here and say, this is what I have to do tomorrow. This is what I have to do the next day. This is what I have to do every day until I get it. And if you do that, you're going to fall in love with what happens is the shift comes off the object to the process. I now love the process. I'm 57 years old, turning 58 years old in a very short time, and I'm in love with the process. I always think of this now. I say, oh my God, I know all this shit now, and I hope I have another 20 years of work, hard work, to really, really use this stuff, because these are laws. Not only are they laws, they're teachable. Anybody that tells you you can't teach them is a liar. These are laws that are teachable. They're replicable. You can continue to do them. And here's where the law of attraction and the energetic stuff comes into play. Once you're in love with the process, once you have definitive purpose, once you're both feet in and the vibration of you and what you're doing changes, it goes like this. Its feelers go out like this. And what does it do? It pulls in the things that the business needs, that the objective needs to get going, and people start aligning behind it. And now all of a sudden you have momentum and force, and when there's force, there's counterforce. Like if you're trying to bring great light, there are people that are bringing great dark that are trying to stop it. But the force is too great because you've helped too many. You're doing too good. It doesn't work, right? Because this thing is rolling. That can be your thing, your book, your energy business. When I say energy business, I mean your healing business, your bakery, and when you see someone who's in love with it, when you see somebody who loves to cook, and they bring out the meal and they just watch, they get such electricity out of watching someone enjoy that. That's the payoff. Not that the meal allowed them to buy a sweater at the, not that. The payoff is the energy of watching people experience your work, go through your process, and take your takeaway. To have that forever. That is the most gorgeous thing. Now, if you can't get jazzed about that, you can't get jazzed about anything. Why do you have to be so jazzed about it? Because it's going to be incredibly hard. Haters are going to hate. People are going to talk bad about you. There's going to be times without money. There's going to be times where you have to make tremendous personal sacrifices, like, oh my God, I can't go on vacation for 3 years because I got to do this. This needs this. That's it. Those are the beautiful parts of this thing. And then when you invest like that, when you really invest with yourself and you invest in duty and responsibility and production and caring for others. When you do that, wow, man, is that a juicy thing? That's juicy because it gives so much back. So what you'll notice is what people I call givers. Givers are generally creators. Creators are people that create wealth. They create jobs. They create all kinds of things. Yeah, the givers get off on giving more because they understand the nature of it. So there is this thing of and they do it in tithing and in churches and things like that. But the gift of giving does come back. It doesn't come back automatically. It doesn't come back for the sake of coming back. What it does is if you constantly send out the energy of gift, then it makes its way around. And once it reconnects and starts coming back and back and back, that's why if you talk to people that have companies and are successful and they're doing really great, and they say things like this, they say, well, listen, when I started out, I thought if I can leave my job teaching and I can do this book writing thing, and it made my salary as a teacher was 45 grand a year. All I was shooting for was to get to 60 grand a year. And now those people are making $5 million a year. That happens all the time because the other law is it's going to take longer. It's longer than you ever thought, harder than you ever thought, and it's going to give you more than you could ever imagine. So it might take twice as long, it might be twice as hard, but it's going to pay off 10 times more than you ever thought. Now, does that mean that everybody has to be in this thing and be a world beater and going to go after? No, that's not it at all. I'm talking about whatever you're doing. If you're going to be a mom, if you're going to be a teacher, if you're going to be a golfer, if you're going to be a ditch, I don't care. It's how you do it. I want to be the best at it because, why do I want to be the best? This is where this gets interesting, yeah? From a spiritual perspective, because I have an obligation to my brothers and sisters and future generations who are going to come here, that I have to be a good steward of this, what I got. I have to be a good steward of my life because in the world, in the universe, there's balance sheets, right? Did I take more than I gave? That's not a successful turn in a carnation. If I took more than I gave, that's not a successful turn. Me as my goal of being a beneficial presence on the planet. Does that mean that everybody who comes into my sphere does incredibly well? No. That means on balance, I gave more than I took. On balance, I created more than I burned. On balance, I burned more garbage than I put out. All of these things are balances, and you are looked at this way. And when you find out you are, a lot of times on plant medicine, you can get to a place where it's not judgment day, but it's kind of like an accounting day. That we take the sum total of your life, and was it good or was it bad? Did you do good or did you do bad? Those things are actually true because they're self-imposed and they're wired in us. That's why when we get in this, what is everything doing for me sphere, we lose that thing. It backs out. And now all of a sudden, we're response and pleasure. We're like, okay, give me that. I feel good for a second. Okay, give me that. I feel good for a second. Give me that. What's he got more than me? Da da da. That's not where it's at. It's not there, and you're not wired to experience contentment, fulfillment, or satisfaction from that place. You're not. That's. And if you try to get it from there, you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset. You're going to be unhappy. You're going to talk negative about people who are doing it. If you ever watch this, the people in the stands are much more vocal than the people in the game. The people in the game are having fun. The people in the stands are yelling, complaining, this guy sucks, this guy's this, she's no good, he did this to her, all kinds of stuff, all talk, because they're not in the game. The people in the game are having fun. And fun is a component to fulfillment. And fun has lots of different aspects to it. Like, what can be fun? Well, for some people and for us, problems are fun because problems are looked at as like obstacles that need to be overcome. It's just something else to think. And by fixing that obstacle, you not only fix it for this time, but you fix it for your business or your profession or whatever going forward ad infinitum. So it's all in how you look at this thing, and you can't look at it right if you picked what you're doing from an unmerged place. You cannot. So my first step in the re-engineering process is to become merged. My second step is to take care of that merger. First, get merged. Second step, take care of that merger. If you do that, then when you pick your thing, and when I say you pick your thing, I have a guy here this week who's a billionaire, who's a friend of mine, a real billionaire, a household name, and he's talking to me about his next thing. So everybody has a next thing. When you pick your thing and you pick it from here, and then you reverse engineer it and say, okay, step one starts with me doing this. For some of us, it's a relationship. Step one is getting out of the old relationship. For some of us, it's a new job. Step one is getting out of that old job or finding a new job to get out of that job. Some of us are saying, I'm going to change my family dynamic. That's my new thing. I want to change my family. To do that, I have to establish boundaries, do this, do that. And I'm going to do these things. I'm not just going to write them down. I'm going to put dates. So in my store idea, I want to open my clothing store. I need financing. I'm going to put a date, June 3rd, to get financing, a random date. And then I work to that goal. Location, July 1st. Style, I want to get a style and a brand. I'm going to find a guy by August 10th. And then I'm going to find a marketing guy and start marketing by September, and admin people by October, and doors open on November 1st. Boom. That's it. That is it. And then work to each one of them. You'll never hit all those goals. You never will. But next thing you know, the store is open. And then you constantly cybernetic takeaway, looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up, pointing, adjusting. It's hard work. And if you don't love it, you're going to quit. If you don't love it, you're going to quit. That's why some of us wind up being 50 years old and we're on our 51st startup. Holy God, here I go again. Because we never picked the thing from a merged soul place. So that's why it's so important to pick from a merged soul place. And when you do, what ends up happening, it looks like this. Hard goes this way. So here's time. Here's hardness, how hard it is. When you pick from a merged place, over time, it's hard, and then it accelerates into easiness and ease. It does, but it takes a long time. You have to build your road. You have to build your house. You have to do the hard work. And that's it. This is how the stuff works. So please, I want to invite you to please come and share time with us. Book now, because look at, I'm telling you that free travel is around the corner. Free travel, what I mean is travel without restrictions is going to be around the corner, whether that's 30 days or 60 days, around the corner. We couldn't have another 10 people this week. This place is going to be booked up. Book now. Book now and say, I'm going to capitalize on the Roaring 20s, not like I don't want that to sound like I'm going to make money at everybody's expense. That's not it at all. I'm going to add benefit to my presence on this planet and get energetic remuneration for that benefit that I'm providing. That's what I'm talking about. And that's one of my pieces, my community piece, my family piece, my love piece, my money piece. That's one of the pieces that makes me tick. So do it for that. Get here, get right, and let's start let's ride this wave together. Cheers. Thank you, guys. I will see you next week. Peace and blessings.